How far would you go to prove to your family that you aren't the failure they labeled you as? Growing up, my sister Maya was the golden child. She got into a private fashion school in New York. My parents didn't even blink. Dropped $85,000 on her tuition, her Soho loft, and even a networking budget so she could brunch with influencers. I was 17, watching them sign the checks while I was literally coming home from my shift at a greasy garage covered in oil. When I graduated, I didn't ask for a loft. I asked for $5,000. See, I'd spent 2 years rebuilding junker engines in our driveway. I had a solid plan to flip salvage titles for a massive profit. I showed my dad the spreadsheets, buyer leads, everything. He didn't even put down his newspaper. He just said, "Honey, leave the business to people with degrees. Why don't you just keep working at the shop? It's a cute little hobby." And Maya laughed. She actually laughed and said, "Maybe you can be my driver once I'm famous." Yeah, it gets worse. He didn't just say no. He made me feel delusional for even trying. So, I stopped asking. I moved out, slept on a literal floor for 6 months, and worked 3 jobs until I could buy my first wrecked Porsche. That's when I realized I didn't need their permission. I just needed to outwork them. That wasn't even the worst part. Fast forward 3 years. My hobby is now a high-end restoration firm clearing 7 figures. Maya, her fashion line crashed in 6 months because she spent the capital on aesthetic office furniture instead of product. My parents poured another $50K into her pivot to interior design. That failed too. Last Tuesday, my dad calls me. His voice was all shaky. He goes, "Hey, we're in a bit of a hole. Maya's debt is hitting our credit and we might lose the house. We need $60,000 to bridge the gap." Silence on the line was heavy. I could hear Maya whispering in the background. I just cleared my throat and said, "Sorry, Dad. Money's tight. Maybe you should try getting a real job instead of focusing on hobbies." He started screaming about family loyalty. He called me ungrateful. I just told him, "I learned my loyalty from you. You invested in a dream that didn't exist and ignored the one that was standing right in front of you." I hung up. I called 12 more times. I haven't picked up once. Turns out, I'm a great driver. I drove myself right out of their lives. How would you handle a family that only loves you when you're winning?